so I need a drum roll. Are you ready? Go. Okay, number 10, top 10 reasons why these people are awesome is they are royalty. They are both a Premier Princess and a Mr. Premier. Number 9, where's my drum roll? Number 9, they have won Oscars. Did you know that? Premier Oscars, that is. They have won the Excellence in Leadership Award in Premier, the Encourager of the Year Award, and the Servant Leader Award. So they are famous. All right, number 8. Are you ready? They must love brownies. You know why? They have done over 2,000 jewelry shows in their Premier career. And how many of us know what do you have at every jewelry show? Why do you think I've gained 30 pounds in 5 years? Because of all the brownies. Okay, drum roll, number 7. If they dressed up for... Whoa. Okay. Who is on the light switch? Number 7. If they dressed up for Halloween, they would dress up as lollipops. Because they have 2 sons and 2 grandkids. Their sons were just 1 and 3 when they started Premier. And now they have 2 grandkids, and guess what their names are? Lolly and Pop. Now, isn't that awesome? All right, number 6. They are old and wise. I mean, not real old, but a little bit. They have been in Premier for, listen, 29 years, and their jeweler number is 232. They were the 132nd jeweler to sign up in Premier. Number 5, they invented Quick Start. I mean, not really, but kind of. They sponsored 13 jewelers in their first 90 days, had 75 jewelers in their 10-10-10 at the end of 6 months, and became 4 diamond designers in their 6th month in Premier. And had 150 jewelers in their 10-10-10 at the end of their first year. Okay, that's insane. All right, number 4, they could make a fortune if powder puff football teams were profitable. Because, guess what? Guess how many ladies they have? Over 1,100 people in their 10-10-10. So you can't make it form some powder puff football teams? I can make it. All right, number 3, drum roll for number 3. They are diamonds. They are diamond executive directors, that is. They currently have 190 leaders in their 10-10-10 from builder to executive director. They have 14 leadership legs, which includes 46 senior leaders. Okay, that's insane. 46 senior leaders, and 10 of those are executive directors. And all 20 executive directors in our company are in their first 6 levels, which is crazy. All right, number 2. This was really short. Number 2, they're happy to do it. And number 1, this is the biggest, they're Jesus freaks, and that's what we love about them. And they desire for others to be the same. So get on your feet to welcome Randy Draper!
Sweethearts. Listen, we met at 15, married at 19, and we're 37 years into marriage, and we still love her. Now, she's not here today. I know some of you were hoping she would be. She fell on Monday, and it was a really tough fall. Our cleaning lady had just waxed the wood floors in our house, and she was running to get her purse to go to lunch with one of our leaders, and she just went, boom. And you know, in your 50s, it's not like Saturday Night Live where you just don't jump up and go, superstar. That doesn't happen when you're in your 50s. Although when you're 50, you go, I'm 50 years old. I like to kick, stretch, and kick because I'm 50. I mean, you know, I like a lot of Saturday Night Live. That's all that proves. I don't watch it much anymore. It's not worth watching, but it was in the 80s and 90s, pretty funny. So that's some old stuff here. You just have to catch it on the reruns. She is not here because she just couldn't make the trip. Monday she fell. Thursday we had to fly to Florida, and she felt worse on Thursday than she felt on Monday. And of course the doctor was afraid of swelling and all kinds of issues. So she's not here, but she's going to be here because through the technology of Skype, she's still going to train. So y'all are still going to get to hear from Elizabeth. I sent her a picture. Oh, she's coming. I sent her a picture. screen. She says, better check for facial hair. So hopefully she's checked for facial hair. We're glad to be here. I'm glad to be here in person. She's going to be thrilled to be here through the beautiful technology that the world offers today. And so we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. So are we ready to bring her up? No? Jonathan, man, he just... Hey, the problem is I'm not there to help her get on there, so it could be a little bit challenging. Guys, we all have a role in Premiere. Mine is technology at our house. So she did this successfully on Thursday night, and so hopefully she'll be able to do it successfully again. But I don't know about y'all. I know you're here today because you want to. Some of you are shallow. You came just because of Draper. I know we're here. But I'm assuming most of you aren't shallow, and you're here because you want to be better in your business. You want to be excited about your business. You want to be encouraged in your business. And I believe the day they have planned for you is going to accomplish that. So I hope you'll take good notes. I hope you will try to capture the essence of our excitement, our enthusiasm. We just started our 30th year about 3 weeks ago, and it's kind of hard to believe that 30 years has gone by. We were cute like all these leaders up here, Danielle and Dave and Lacey and Jonathan and Cheryl and Rick. I mean, we were that cute when we got in from here. We were 28, and so Andy had his hands full. I'm just going to tell you, Andy had his hands full. And while we're waiting on her, I'll tell you a story. There's only about 4 or 5 senior leaders. Yes, Lord. I'm going to tell it honestly, I promise. I'll tell the truth. We're at a retreat for 4 Diamond Retreat, and that morning we're supposed to be in the room at 9. Well, if you're on border time, you're supposed to be there at 10 till 9, okay? Because he's 10 minutes. He starts at 5 till, and you're not in the room at 10 till. You're in trouble. So we're all in the gift shop, and I'm going, hey, y'all, I got to go. It's getting ready to start. And they're like, Randy, let's just all be late. It'll be okay. I'm like, it's not going to be okay, but I don't want to throw y'all under the bus. So we're going to all be late. So we all walk in late. In the first 20 minutes, Andy lectures us on the value of being on time.
Okay. Well, we can't.
So later in the day, now it's us and the Terrells and a couple other couples. We're all in our late 20s.
And I'm going to try to call you back one more time.
Beverly Terrell was there, and she was in her 50s. So, she was trying to keep us in line, but it wasn't working. So, Andy at some point gets exasperated with us, which is kind of what happens at that age.
Yeah, I just told Kevin.
And he says something, and I look down and I go, Andy, just think, if we'd been on time, you'd have 20 more minutes of
There's
this.
plus time, but I don't know.
He didn't think it was funny either. So, when you're in your 20s, you just kind of smart off and don't care. And I'm in my 50s, I'm 57, and you know what? Now I care. And I am just so impressed with the leadership that are out here in Florida, and it's such a blessing to be with you. And I didn't expect to have to talk this long. So, Rick says, yeah, keep going. All right. But, okay, well, let me just give you a couple more thoughts.
Okay.
Dave mentioned the verse of the year. Oh, here she comes.
All right. You're going on.
You're God's masterpiece, girls. Don't forget that. And the Mona Lisa's worth $1 billion. On the planet, we all consider that an incredible masterpiece. All right, nice face.
Well, I just wanted you to know that I cried like a baby when I could not come. But I'm super excited that there are guys here that know how to do Skype. Because I surely don't. I told Rick, this is the first time ever a choleric says, I'm glad you're in control. Those words don't come out of my mouth too often. Well, hey, I am so sorry I can't be there, but I'm so glad that I could at least be visiting with you this way. And I sent you my very best, which is Randy Draper. And I know that you will be blessed today with everything that's going on and everything that they have planned for you. So are you ready to get started? Okay, I can't see you, I just see a shine. That's distracting, so y'all just gonna have to give me some verbal oohs and ahs throughout this so I know you're still there, okay? Can you do that? Oh, that sounds pretty awesome. Well, let's talk about, the different people that we get to come in contact with in Premiere. Isn't it amazing? I laugh all the time, and I just shake my head and go, people, oh, they need the Lord. I mean, it's just amazing how God has such a great sense of humor and puts us in a pile of people that are so different than we are. And I don't know if you've ever caught yourself asking yourself these questions, but it's like, why do they act the way they do? What makes these people tick? Why do we have customers and hostesses and downline that just don't get it? Why aren't people like me? If everybody was like me, it'd just be so much easier. Have you ever thought that? Well, I know I do that often. And God has made each of us with a really unique individual gift to be celebrated. And I want to kind of go through the different personalities and talk through it with how do you work with people with a personality and they're your hostess, or they're your customer, or they're your jeweler. You'll probably even be able to take it more personal to your family members as well. This is just a short, quick overview, and this isn't designed to stereotype people or put people in a box, because we're all wired so differently based on our backgrounds and different things that we've gone through in our life. And it's also not an excuse to say, well, that's just the way I was born, and that's just the way I was raised, and that's just the way I'm going to be, so just get over it. It's not a formula like that. It's a way to see that we are blended and uniquely made, and to be able to celebrate each other. So let's look at the 4 personalities. And the first one, I'm going to give you an overview with some cards. Isn't that going to be exciting? And you're going to want to remember these key words as we go through this. So our first one is going to be the sanguine. Now, the sanguine has one main thread that drives them, and it's called the happy way. So just remember, every decision a sanguine makes, it's going to be based on, is it the happy way? Now, a sanguine needs, I can't read upside down, attention, approval, and acceptance. Now, when they're not getting attention, when they're not getting approval, and when they're not getting acceptance, guess what happens? They can become discouraged or depressed. And when they become discouraged and depressed, guess what happens? You start seeing some problems with, they feel like they're deprived of fun and attention, and then they feel criticized. So these are key things about a sanguine. Everybody get that? Yes?
Yes.
No?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I can't see you, so I'm just talking to a little screen, what I love. Now, let me tell you a little scenario about a sanguine hostess. This is a lady that when you ring the doorbell and go to her house for her show, she opens the door, her hair's wrapped in a towel, she has a robe on, she's running around like a crazy person, and she's saying to you, I'm not ready yet, and you're saying, duh. And she's running back upstairs while she's on her cell phone calling people to invite them to come to the show. That's a typical scenario of a sanguine hostess. You can transfer that to everybody else too. Okay, now, we also have another personality, and that's called our choleric. Now, our choleric has one thing that they are, every decision is being made on my way. So you have to think about people you know that are choleric. Your underlying thing is my way. My way. Your way is the highway. Now, they need to be appreciated. I think that's, oh no. That yes, they need appreciation and they need achievement. That's very, very important. And see, when you understand needs of people, it makes you understand why they do what they do. Now, when they do not feel that they are having achievement and then they don't feel appreciated, guess what? They can become discouraged, and when they're discouraged, you know what? They're discouraged with, and even sometimes depressed, when they feel that they are unappreciated and when they feel like they do not have control. When things are out of control, that is very, very hard on a choleric. Now, can you already see what happens when a sanguine jeweler would sponsor a choleric jeweler? You know, a sanguine is like a balloon, and you just blow air in them, let it go, and the balloon just goes, woo, all over the place. But see, remember a choleric, they like control, and they like some structure in there. So can you see, if you don't understand each other, how those two can quickly be at each other's throats because of just the way they're wired up. It doesn't have anything to do with, I don't like her, or I don't like him. It totally has everything to do with just how we're wired up. Now, the next personality we're going to look at is the melancholy. Now, the melancholy's big theme in life is do it the right way. They don't care if it's fun. They don't care if it's my way. They just want it to be the right way. Now, the melancholy has needs as well. And their needs are, they need to have order in their life, and they need sensitivity. They need that feeling of people understand what I'm saying. People get me. Okay, that's a huge, huge need in their life. Now, they become discouraged without, let's see, when there's chaos in their life, when there's imperfection, and when they're dealing with what they feel are insensitive people. Okay, does that make sense to you? Yes? No? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, last one, and then we're going to go into a little bit more detail with some examples, is our phlegmatic. Now, our phlegmatic's main theme is do it the easy way. It's not the right way, it's not my way, it's not the happy or fun way, it's just, what's the easiest way to do this? Now, here's the deal with them. They need to feel respected, and they need a feeling of worth. And they become discouraged when they feel insignificant, when they feel ignored, or when they feel like they're taken for granted. Now, let me tell you, the needs of all of these personalities is so important. I hope you wrote those down because it's going to explain behavior a little bit better to you as we keep going through this. Now, let's go back now since we've kind of given you an overview. Oh, I didn't even tell you hostesses of those people. That one for me. Go back to the choleric. Here's your choleric hostess. Your choleric hostess is going to say to you, now, this is how long your show's going to be. I don't want you to do that booking activity. I don't want to serve refreshments at the beginning. I'm going to serve them at the end. If you've shared with them the alcohol policy, they don't give a rip. They're going to do exactly what they want because it's my way. You know, if you give them an order form, you know what? The sanguine hostess will have lost the order form. By the time you give it to her and you need it again, she doesn't know where it is. The choleric is going to hand you the hostess order, is handing you her order form, and she's going to dictate to you everything she wants you to write down for her. Okay? Your melancholy, she's going to have her whole order form filled out. It's going to be neatly written. It's going to have the sales tax figure, and she even has her credit card memorized. And it's all on there with the expiration date, the security code, and everything. Now, your phlegmatic hostess, she is going to greet you at the door. She's going to be very casual. She is going to get around to finding her order form. And she would be on the phone inviting her friends, saying things like, just come, you don't have to buy anything, it's okay. No, you don't need need to book a show. She's going to be doing things very easy. Her refreshments are going to be maybe popcorn and water. And that's about as good as it's going to get. And when it comes time to helping her pick a free jewelry out, this is the standard buzzword of a phlegmatic. I just like to think about it. Okay, now that really is translated in, I don't want to make a decision right now. So that's how they all go through that. Now let's go back to our sanguine personality. She's an extrovert, and let me give you some buzzwords about her. She's carefree. She loves to please. She talks about anything to anyone. In fact, other personalities will listen to her and go, what is he saying? Talks and talks. So this is a key, this is a great thing about her, and this is a poor thing about her. She thrives on activity. And why does she do that? Because she loves people. She bubbles with enthusiasm. She is the life of the party. If you ever have a group of people together and you're afraid it's going to be dull, just make sure you have one sanguine leader, and there's not going to be a problem. Now, here's where she needs to improve. She has a very hard time organizing things. Why do you think that? Because see, her motto is the way. Her organizing isn't fun. You're going to have to use her colored markers, colored folders, stickers, anything like that that makes the fun to her, she's more likely to do it. She's going to be forgetful. She's going to trust others to do her work without following up to see if it's done. She just takes everything at the word. She is going to probably not be a good listener because she loves to talk. And you can't do both of those. She tends to remember everything really big. Some people might call that exaggeration, but she does remember big. And she has a really hard time saying no. Why? Because at first she loves to please. And sanguines can tend to be insecure. Okay, can y'all hear me okay? I hear everything I'm saying twice, which is super exciting for now. That's good. I guess God knows I need to hear it twice. Now, when you're working with a jeweler or a hostess or even a customer who is sanguine, here's some tips to remember. Give them dates and deadlines earlier than when they're due. Because you know what? They're not going to have them in on time unless you do that. I'm not going to tell you that story. Okay, good. So now I'm mature now. I've learned to close my mouth. Okay, you need to teach her to listen. You need to teach her to kind of do zzz. Because she just loves to talk. You've got to teach them how to say a positive no, or their life is going to seem unbalanced all the time. She is going to be great in sales. She's going to be great in pre-sales. She's going to be great in bookings because her personality is magnetic. People just flock to her because she's fun. She is going to need a method on how to handle replacement and exchanges. Because you know what she's going to do? She's going to take it and then she's going to put it somewhere and she's not going to remember where it is. And 2 months later, that person's going to call and say, where's my jewelry? And she's just going to go in a panic, screaming with her hair on fire through the house because she can't figure out what she did with it. She's the person that's got to have short-range goals. You cannot say to her, do you want to win the cruise and the payoff's going to be in 6 to 8 months? She will get so lost in that. A sanguine has to have very short-range goals. She also, with her DVDs that come in her kit, you're going to have to go on and just go on and put them in the DVD player for her. Because you know what? She will never find them again if you don't do that for her. You know, if you give her a hostess packet at a show, you're gonna have to physically stick it in her purse, or she's gonna leave it somewhere in the house and never get home with it. She will probably call you several times and say, I lost my catalog. Can I have another one? So you might as well just keep feeding them to her, because she's gonna lose things like that. And you're gonna explain to her the hostess plan, and she's gonna go like this, oh my gosh, I love it! And you're gonna leave, and she's gonna go, what do I get? Just goes, woo! Because, see, everything, all of those things she needs to work on, do you know why all that is possible? Because she thrives on people and activities. And so because of that, it makes her late, and it makes everything else kind of jumble, because she's got to get control and get some balance so that that won't happen. Now, when a sanguine is stressed, and this is a big key for you to understand, he's going to attack verbally. And you know, that sounds weird, because she is, most of the time, the glass is half full. I mean, she sees everything in a positive way, but when she is really stressed, she is going to lash out verbally. And when you see that happening with a sanguine, instead of reacting to her, you respond with, okay, she's stressed. What can I do to help relieve the stress from her life? See, that's what we're supposed to do. I think that's how God intended us to, not to go, who does she think she is? But to go, wait a minute, I see a need in her. I'm in her life, how can I meet that need? Now, let's look for a second. Let's go over to the opposite side, which is our melancholies. Our melancholies are introverted personalities. They're cautious. They are great at thinking and planning, and they're very analytical. You want to have a program like today go on at your gym school, you make sure a melancholy is in the mix, because they're going to make sure that you've got name tags, they're going to make sure that you've got every detail you need. You want a sanguine planning, because they're going to make sure the day's fun. But if the sanguine's the only one planning, you're going to have a lot of fun, but you're not going to have lunch, you're not going to have a potty break, you're not going to have anything necessary, because melancholy wasn't there to help. So you see how that works together? Melancholies are extremely talented. You find a lot of melancholies artistic, that are great singers, that are great actors, that are really good in the arts. A lot of melancholies fall into that category. Melancholies are organized, and they're very purposeful. They have a reason for why they do everything, and they need to be understood. And a lot of time, you got a melancholy in the mix, and they come up with a great idea. They want to explain it out. Well, you know, I think it'd be great if we did this because, and the sanguine's already cut them off and run with it. The cholerics going, I don't want to hear that, because you know what? My way is probably better than your way. And the phlegmatic is sitting there going, oh my gosh, are they going to fight? They're freaking out. A melancholy is sensitive. They're sensitive to the people around them. They are self-sacrificing. If you have a friend that's a melancholy, I'm going to tell you, they'll take a bullet for you. They are so faithful. So they've got to be understood though. Now, how can a melancholy improve? They become so discouraged when people don't do what they say. So they've got to understand that principle that the world is not perfect. People are not perfect. And so everything is not going to go like you want it. We have a jeweler that quit Premier that's melancholy. And she said, I'm quitting Premier, one, because my hostesses never do anything I tell them to do. I coach them, I work with them, I do everything like Premier says, and they don't do it. She probably got a whole slew of, little sanguine. You know what? And then she said, I'm just getting out because I don't like people. She like goes, what kind of job are you gonna do? She said, I don't know, I'm just gonna do a job that doesn't deal with people. Like with that one. Okay, how else can a melancholy produce? They are prone to take too much time in preparation. They prepare and it's right, and then they overthink it, and they don't need to because they got it right typically the first time. They are short-fused with unorganized people. Now, can you see when a melancholy sponsors a sanguine? They're organized, they hand them a book, it's highlighted, they said, read all these things, blah, 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 and the sanguine's lost the book in 5 minutes. It's already a stressful situation. The sanguine's going, they're putting too much pressure on me, I can't read all this stuff, I can't do all this stuff, I just wanted to be a premiere for fun. The melancholy is sitting there going, I'm trying to teach you how to have fun. Give them stickers and colored markers and a red book, and they look at you disgusted going, that's such a waste of time. Vanilla is the best. They can't be moody when they're discouraged, and they can have a little bit more of a pessimistic bent because they're very realistic. Now, when you're working with a melancholy, whether it's a hostess or a jeweler, here's what you need to think about. Because sometimes at the beginning, little things discourage them. You've got to teach a melancholy. Don't take it personally. If they can learn that one lesson, it will help them survive and premiere. Help them think positively. And the way you do that is you say, if they make a statement that's negative, go, well, let's think, what is the positive to that? And they'll go like this, nothing. And then you say, well, let me suggest this. And you have to train them to see positive because they're not wired naturally to see that way. They read everything you give them. They will highlight it. They will make notes on it. They will say to you, I read on page 42, section B, item 1, that Premier says blah, blah, blah. And you're going, where did you read that? They are going to be so detailed with that. Let's see, they tend to remember their mistakes over their successes. So when I'm dealing and working with a melancholy, like a melancholy hostess, this is the typical thing they say to me. How are you doing on your pre-sales? I only have $50 in sales. I'm going, oh my gosh, girl, that's awesome. You have 4 days to get $54. You are so on this. You're going to do this. But see, she sees her failure, not her victory. And so you've constantly got to be that cheerleader to point them towards the positive stuff you're doing. Humor does not come easy with melancholy. And so you kind of have to help them with the fun factor. Like my melancholies, they go, I'm not fun at my shows. And so I literally write down my one-liners and I give it to them. And we rehearse it so that they can have people laughing at their shows. And they're really good too with that. Let's see, they have a fear of rejection. And you've got to teach them that rejection's not them and how to handle objections. They're going to be the person that you want to teach. Okay, if a lady says, I'm too busy, my house is too small, how are you going to handle that? They're the person that needs that information. A sanguine, don't teach them that stuff. They wing it. They're not going to listen to you. All they want to hear is fun, trips, food, all that kind of stuff. Now, when a melancholy is stressed, and this is what you need to remember, they tend to withdraw. So when you see someone with that personality and you see them start withdrawing, you know that they're stressed. You don't go, well, good. So you just stay in the background. You say, they're withdrawing. That means they're stressed. That means God's put me in their life to help them Now, how am I going to meet the needs they have? And you go back to what melancholy's needs are, and you start working on those needs. And then you see that all of a sudden the withdrawing stops. Isn't this fun? Don't you love learning?
Yeah.
I know I do. Okay, now let's look at our choleric. Remember, our choleric is an extrovert. Remember, their way is my way. They are persuasive. They make quick decisions. They love to tell other people what to do. I think a better word for that is called delegating. They're fabulous delegators. They love control. They're competitive. They're full of ideas. They're full of projects. They're determined. They're persistent. And they're goal setters. Okay? Now, how are we going to improve? Cholerics definitely need some improvements. They tend to be harsh because they just tell it like it is. They tend to have more of a sarcastic sense of humor. And so they really need to be taught that feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I felt that way before, but here's what I've found. They really need to be taught that technique in handling people, because otherwise they're just going to say to a prospect, look, your husband lost his job, you don't have any money, you can't make any of your payments, now why aren't you getting in Premier? That's just stupid. I mean, to a cleric, that just makes total sense. Where that's not going to probably go over very well. You know, with a hostess or a prospect, so that's where that, I know how you feel, they don't know how they feel. They have to totally memorize this. I know how you feel. I felt that way before, or they can say, I know someone who felt like that. And it's what we feel. Okay, and that technique is going to really help with all kinds of things. They have a hard time apologizing. Do you know why? Because in their mind, they're always right. And they see apology not as, I'm sorry you hurt yourself, but as a sign of weakness in their own personal life. And so they have to really work on learning that sensitivity and just be able to say, I'm so sorry. I know when I fell Monday, and y'all, it's getting funny, but it hasn't been funny. I've learned we're no longer doing wax on, we're doing wax off on my floors. But you know, the first thing Randy said to me is, honey, I am so sorry. And you know what I said immediately? Why? It's not your fault. He wasn't admitting it was his fault. He was just sympathizing that I got hurt. And so that's a big problem for him. I'm letting on to kind of some of, probably you'll figure out what I am. They can be dominating, they can be workaholics, and they are not very patient. They need to learn some patience, and they need to learn it's okay to relax. It's okay to take time to be with your family. I give you permission. It's healthy to do that, because they don't do that. Their natural instinct is not to do that. Now, when you're working with a choleric, that's a jeweler or a hostess or a customer, remember these things. She's not going to be afraid of trying new ideas. And she's very persuasive in selling. She does not have a problem asking. Okay, those are things, skill sets, you just touch on. You don't need to teach them. They're already wired that way. They are very goal-oriented. So if you're a sanguine and you sponsor a choleric, you can see what's happening here. You know, if you're phlegmatic and you sponsor a choleric, you can see what's happening, because these people want goals and they're competitive. And so they need that, because that helps them thrive in who they are. But they need to stay balanced, because they tend to go so far into the work side, they forget about the fun side. And so they have to be balanced with that. They've got to learn how to deal with people. The majority of the problems that Randy and I deal with in Premier are this problem right here, is they've got to learn how to deal with people. Okay, they're too harsh. So you've got to do that. They have great leadership ability, but they need to learn to let others lead because they're natural born leaders. And so it's just so instinctive for them to pick up the marks lot and run with it and lead the group. But they need to learn, as a good leader, a choleric needs to sometimes back off and not volunteer so that other people can step up to the plate and lead and experience success. They've got to learn to listen. They are very good at telling you what you think. That's not good. Now, when they're stressed, they take charge. So when you see them excessively taking charge, you're going, well, wait, I'm stressed. What I need to do here to help correct the situation. Don't get mad, she always takes control. Don't do that, okay? Remember, we're learning how to work with people. They're all important. Every personality is so uniquely made and wonderful. There is not one personality that is better than the other. They're all good when they're working in their strengths. In our weaknesses, we're all pretty yucky, on that. Now let's look at our phlegmatic. She's an introvert. She is super good under pressure. She is reserved, relaxed, easygoing, calm, steady. Personality. She has a very dry sense of humor. She's the one that'll never say it out loud, but if you're in a room, you want to sit by her because she will have some awesome one-liners, okay? She's never going to draw attention to herself. She's a super good listener. She's very loyal. She needs respect. She does not want attention drawn to her. She does not want the microphone, okay? That is like, let's just get her up here, put her on a microphone and let her do this. I mean, she's just gonna go, She doesn't like that. She does not like making decisions. With a phlegmatic, you have to give them choices of twos. You can't say, what color do you want this table to be? Do you want it pink or green? You have to help her with choices of twos to help her have confidence in making decisions. They are natural peacemakers. They work with everybody well. They're super dependable and they are non-threatening. Now I'm going to tell you 3 of my first levels that are great leaders that are phlegmatics. Melissa Terrell, Holly Knight, and Dana Michaels. You know what? Every one of them are high phlegmatic. So it shows you they can be great leaders. They just have to learn on some of these areas and how to improve those weaknesses. In fact, my best story on Melissa Terrell. Early on, it's National Rally, and we were staying on the same floor of the hotel, and we had an elevator right down, and we were the only ones on the elevator. Do you know how crazy that is to even think about that? And I'm there, and I'm just like, woo! I mean, I'm excited, and kind of jumping around, and all that, and she's standing in back, going like this. What are you doing? See, that's such a sensitive choleric, isn't it? Just having to psyching myself up. I go, what are you psyching yourself up for? She goes, Elizabeth, when I walked into that arena with all those people, she said, I have to psych myself up because my idea of a great rally would be sit on the back row and just one at a time, people come up to me and I just sit and visit with them. She said, I don't want to be on the stage. I've learned to do it.
Connection.
I just think that'd be more fun in the show. I mean, I just couldn't fathom that that's how she's a great leader because she's learned her personality and how to strengthen those strengths. Now, how's she going to improve? Here's areas for phlegmatics to improve. When they say, I'll think about it, that usually means they are going to postpone. Okay? So you've got to really watch them when they go, well, let me.
I don't know what to do, guys. If there's a sanguine that could stand up and do something right now, that'd be great.
Hello. I'm calling her to tell her we lost her. Although I don't have any service in here, so I don't know why I'm trying to talk. She'll be back on there.
Am I back on?
Yes.
Yay! What was I saying? How long have you lost me?
About Melissa when she was in the elevator.
How can a phlegmatic improve?
Oh, did I finish that story?
You kind of got cut off in the middle of the Melissa in the elevator story.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a good story, and bottom line is she's phlegmatic. She learned how to deal with it. Okay. Now, back to you. Oh, when we're working with, okay, what they need to improve on. When they say I think about it, it usually means they want to postpone. So when they say, well, let me just think about that, say, well, you know what? Let's think about it right now for a second. You want yellow or green? And start giving them choices of two and applauding their decision making so that you can build confidence now. Because they try to postpone because they just don't want to think about it. When they gain confidence in making decisions, they don't say that anymore. They're not lazy, but they do like to conserve their energy. And so that's good. They worry because change is really, really hard for them. So you have to really be careful when you're changing something to just give them time to work through that. They really need help setting a goal. They want to accomplish things, but they want you to just lay it a little bit out there at a time. They don't want a 6-month goal. They want a goal for this week, the next week, just like that. They do not like being pushed. They are really stubborn. And when you finally push them and back them in a corner, whoa, it is not pretty. Don't underestimate them because they're low-key. Oh my gosh, they are so talented. When you have one that's a hostess or a jeweler, they're going to have lots of people at their show because everybody loves them. They're going to be very conservative. Like, you do not put top-notch necklace on a phlegmatic brand new jeweler. That they are going to flip out because they are so conservative. You're going to start out with something very small to them and applaud them because they're going to feel like a clown. You try to do that to them. Tons of people relate to them. Limit choices. Help her turn up the excitement level, kind of, prod her a little bit because they can be kind of low-key. Like for a phlegmatic, it's great for them to use tickets or diva dollars at their shows because that helps keep the excitement, or noisemakers, a little lipstick game, something like that really helps a phlegmatic with excitement levels. They're super, super teachable. Like I said, 3 of my top people are phlegmatics. They're so teachable. I can remember with Dana Michaels, she lives in Memphis. When I first met her, so shy, she'd really look me in the eye, and she's so sweet. She'd just go, Precious, I just want this to work so my husband can quit his 4 a.m. paper throwing job. And just tell me what to do, baby, and I will do it. I'm thinking, gosh. And so I go, okay, well, you need to do blah, blah, blah. She'd go, really? I go, yeah. Okay. She'd call me back.
Do you think she can fit here?
Here I am again. Da 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 da. Okay. Give the phlegmatic a lot of encouragement and be very factual. They love to know the whys to everything. And that's important to know that with the hostess, with the jeweler. Be persistent with them, but don't push them. And they really need help with giving them vision for the big picture. When they are stressed, they passively yield. Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Yield. Okay. Now, I'm going to wind this down so this machine can't cut me off again, okay? But you know, if you can see, celebrating the differences in who all of us are is so important in making this process of working together and really pointing people to the Lord. It's so important to learn how to do this and understand yourself and others. You know, the 4 personalities are not designed to compete with each other. The 4 personalities are designed to complete each other. And that's the beauty of it, is if you can get that in your head. We're not competing, we're completing. Typically, you're a combination of several. You know, you're higher probably in one, and then you've got a secondary, and sometimes some of your other ones are very equal. I'm very high choleric, but I'm also very high sanguine. And so I basically can tell you where to go and how to enjoy the trip. That's the sanguine part of it. So that works well. And then just remember that it's a really good thing that everybody is not like you. It really is. And applaud the differences. And if you can go back over these notes and kind of study them and get to know them, the best book I've ever read on this is The Personality Tree, and it's by Florence Littauer. And I don't know how to spell her name. It's German, and it spells totally opposite of what you think. But if you just Google The Personality Tree, Florence, and then L-I, whatever, and it'll just spell it out for you. Isn't that great? And I want to close with this, because I think this is the important thing in celebrating each other, is just as we need to be patient and understand how people are wired, and that they're all going through different things at different times in their life, things that God's working on me and in my life, He's probably already worked on in your life. And that's why we need to know how to love and respect. And I know you guys do a great job of that. It's just a reminder that, I have a song that we sing this all the time in church when I was growing up, and I think it's such a great way to end this. And it says, He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. It took Him just a week to make the moon and stars, the sun and the earth and Jupiter and Mars. How loving and patient He must be, 'cause He's still working on me. And He's still working on you. And He's still working on your downline. He's still working on your husband. Still working on your hostesses. And He's still working on you. Hey guys, thanks.
Look at her. There we go.
Direction challenge here. Let's see. Guys, to look behind you, you have to turn your head around the opposite direction.
There you go.
Well, y'all are just as cute as I imagined, even better. Thank you. Is someone, who's in the aisle?
That's a baby.
Oh, hi, baby. Now, I'm leaving because I think I'm coming back to talk to the leaders later on, so y'all have a good rest of the morning. Bye.